if I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, thinking of about the same mistakes. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys, it is Old Man G here, back again, and it's just me on this lovely Friday evening, if you're in the UK anyway, afternoon, who knows where you are, but wherever you are watching the channel, welcome to the show. This is our Manchester United 2023-2024 season preview. It is just me today, unfortunately, guys, or fortunately. But before we get into it, if you are new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter and X, smash the notification button. And you know, this is also, it's not just United, it's Friday evening, so it's going to be interactive, you know, chilled, relaxed, etc. We are going to talk about Manchester United and the expectations, but you know, let's do a bit of the Premier League as well. Let's talk about some transfer news, that type of thing. Maybe make it a Q&A. So while this strictly is a season preview, I'm going to focus on that. This is fairly relaxed show, is essentially what I'm trying to say. This is going to be a very, very relaxed show. So just, you know, relax, chill, and join with me this evening too. So let me just see who's in the chat before we get started. Shout out to Stephanie, man. Stephanie, as always, hope you're doing well. City top of the league, business as usual. Big up RDS, thanking you, Stephanie. What's up, RDS says Smasi. Thank you, Smasi. Congrats on the Bayern. If you're a Bayern fan, congratulations. So look, shout out to SSB, man. SSB in the mud. In the mud. Yes, SSB. Well, we might briefly talk about the Liverpool Caicedo thing, man. Liverpool Caicedo is mad. It's absolutely mad. What happened? The only thing I can really say is that if Chelsea, having spent all of that money, still somehow finish mid-table, you got to delete the football club. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. You know, so because I think they've spent about £1 billion in 1 year. If you go from August or last season transfer to this season, you know, it's weird. It's weird. Down bad, man. Big up, Mo. Shout out to you. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Shout out to Rasmus, man. Hope you're doing well. Long time no speak. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks, Chief. Hope you are doing well. I can't believe I'm rooting for Liverpool, but they need to bid higher wages. Nah, I think it's over. I mean, you know, I think the way I kind of see it is that you'd think that Chelsea should match the bid, is my understanding. You know, if Chelsea bid more or equal to what Liverpool bid, then it should be okay. Although, to be honest, having seen City play tonight, I think that I'll obviously give you, even though this is a United season preview, I'll give you my top 4 expectations and Premier League expectations as well. But if I'm honest, guys, like I think that City are going to go four in a row. I generally believe City are going to go 4 in a row. I don't think there is a team out there. Liverpool potentially might have had they got their midfield signings, but now that they look like they're in the mud right now, I don't know. I just think it's game over personally. But I could be wrong. Who knows? We're eating good. Someone is getting punked either Liverpool or Chelsea. Well, there are a lot of receipts for the people who were on HH stream before. Can Chelsea bid more? Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe in FFP anymore. By the way, I don't believe in FFP anymore. I don't believe in FFP. I don't believe in FFP. If you're Chelsea, I don't believe in it. I prefer Chelsea get to committee over Liverpool. Interesting. Don Smoke says LDS. Yes, this guy's back smoking the pack. Obviously, given the what's his name company giving that the 3-point handouts. So we're big up City, man. They're on their way to their four in a row. So, but this is a United season preview before I get to talk about other teams. So it starts with so obviously talking about the Manchester United squad. As you can see in the list here, hopefully everyone can kind of see that this is kind of a tier list. Some of these players have already been sold already, or just about been sold. So, for example, Fred has literally just sort of gone. For example, I suspect that the likes of Baye, for example, is going to go as well. Maguire looks like he's on his way. Maguire looks like he's on his way out as well. But I really kind of wanted to use this as a means to really assess where this squad is, and for the United fans and even other Rayo fans to really actually think how good actually is this squad going into the Premier League season. That's why the tier list is here. So this is why it's going to be interactive. You've got elite, great, good, decent, average, not good enough, sell. So I'll say what I feel like. Let me know what you guys think in the comments as well. But going into this season, obviously United don't have all of their players. They don't. Sorry, Telles, I think, has gone as well. And I don't think Højlund is in here either yet. So we'll just imagine Højlund is in. But what I want to know from you guys is like looking at some of these players, like where do you think the Manchester United squad actually? Where do you think we are? Where exactly do you actually think we are? That's the point of this. Then we'll switch to a formation generator and then talk about the best United 11. And then following that, we'll talk about expectation of the season preview, and all the rest of it. So we'll see what happens. Reading some comments. Bellingham, Amrabat, and Caicedo all turned down Liverpool, and probably Lavia as well. Liverpool in the mud, man. It's bad. It's bad. Liverpool in the mud. Højlund will score 9 this season. #progress. Let's see what happens. Leave Højlund alone, man. Leave Højlund alone. I've already told you that 15 goals to me is fine. 15 goals to me is fine. If he does score more than 9 goals, though, will people apologize? Will people apologize if he does score more than 9 goals? As we said, Chelsea FFP limit was 1-5-1, and Liverpool bid 1-1. Chelsea has to get rid of players to get considered bid through. Brighton said no to player swap. Oh, so that's it. So literally Chelsea can't. So, but Liverpool said they would. But the thing is, though, is that isn't that only valid if Liverpool withdraw their bid? Because if Liverpool withdraw their bid, then surely that means that Chelsea can bid 105 or whatever. Was my understanding. That was my understanding. Anyway, getting to the Manchester United squad going into the season, you got Bruno the captain, and again we got to look at how the squad competes with the best in the Premier League. Arguably the top 6: Manchester City, Arsenal, Newcastle at this point, Chelsea, and so on and so forth. You've got to see, can these guys actually compete with the best of the best? And for someone like Bruno, do I think Bruno Fernandes is an elite player? No. Do I think he's a great player? Potentially. Good? Yes. I would put him. I would put Bruno here in the good category, because I can't really say great because he does frustrate me still at times. But I think he will improve, and so I'd like to think at the end of the season he should get into the great category. But again, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Where do you think Bruno Fernandes should be? Should he be in the great category? Should we not? Going into the season, what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Varane. Um, when Varane is fit, I can put Varane here. I can put Varane here. I mean, when you can see when, and I keep on saying this, is that people like want to focus on the fact that we conceded 7 goals against Liverpool and City, but actually, as I said, um, United had the third best defensive record in the league last season. So despite the fact that we conceded 7 goals to Liverpool, 6 goals to City, and 4 to Brentford, we still had the third best defensive record in the league. So that says something. And the main reason for that is because Maguire isn't playing. When Maguire isn't play, our defense is actually pretty good. I mean, okay, so here let's have a look. RDS, this is what the streets are saying. Liverpool fans were going through the Chelsea books and finances. Wow. Ten Hag said that Højlund has a lot of training to do. He's not in form. It was the same with De Ligt. Syria can't be taken serious. Oh dear, that's not good. Bruno is great, objectively speaking. Is he? Is he? I mean, I'm more than well to move him to great. And other people in the chat that feel like he should move to great. I'm definitely happy to move Bruno Fernandes to great. If there are others in the chat that agree, I will move him to, because I said this is not fixed or anything like that. So let me know. Varane is great when he's fit. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. I do. Going further, I'm just looking at myself. Sorry again if things are slowing down a little bit. Hopefully they're not. Luke Shaw. Where does Luke Shaw go? Good? Is Luke Shaw great? I'll put Shaw Luke. It's difficult because he's obviously our left back. And he's a better left back than Malacia. But however, I would argue that I prefer Luke Shaw last season as a centre back. I preferred him as a centre back last season. I really, really did. So he's good, sometimes great. That's why I don't know. I've got to put him in the I've got to put Bruno in the. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. Yep, I'm back. Yeah, I put him in the Shaw in the good category. Shaw in the good category. I think we'll put Shaw in the good category. I think. Let's move. Sorry about that, guys. So I've just got staying. So that's why I was actually a bit late. Actually, where am I? 2 seconds, everybody. 2 seconds. Right, let me do this. Right. Hopefully this should make things a bit faster. Okay. Right. Okay. Hopefully things should be a bit faster now. So apologies for the slowness. Okay. Marcus Rashford. I'm going to put Marcus Rashford in great. The simple reason that if we're going to do anything this season, Rashford, and there was that period, whatever you say about Rashford, there was that period for me where Rashford was scoring goal after goal after goal after goal after goal after goal. If Rashford didn't score those goals, United certainly wouldn't have been fourth. Sorry, third. And even now, looking at this team, okay, we signed Højlund now, right? But he's not fit. He's got training, etc. So we're still like our front three, our four line is still the same as like. We need to remember this. Our front line is practically still the same as it was last season. I'll bet you could make a case it's worse because we've got Ahmad's not is fit, is not fit. We don't have a number 9. Martial is here nor there. So these are the things. So I think it's important to appreciate that like as much as I think that again Rashford could be selfish, Rashford could be difficult, that we do rely on his goals. We do. It is what it is. So I put Rashford in great personally. Most look at Bruno stats. Crazy how underrated he is, to be honest. Yeah, that's the thing. I for me, Bruno good and great, either or for me, to be honest. Case later, shout out to man says, great for me is when you know that he will produce an 8 out of 10 most games and will elevate in big games. Yeah. I agree with that. I think elite for me is that this elite is basically for me is just world class. But great, exactly, you're right. Produced the 8 out of 10 performance and is consistent. Good is that like, yeah, I hear that. Johnny says it almost sounds like we are selling everyone. We kind of are, but hopefully that means more signs coming in because the rumor on the street is that we should be bringing in a United should be bringing in a midfielder, Amrabat, a centre back, and obviously we're looking for Tadibo, etc., and then possibly to get a loan in on a striker. So I suspect that when the season's with the way that things are going, that in the next 2 weeks before the end of the season, that we will get a midfielder and get a defender, Amrabat and possibly Todibo. I think are the two. Who the new striker is or lone striker, I don't know, but we certainly need to get another striker in. Marshall has never been consistent. He's scored 11 goals, 10 goals, 7 goals, but in this squad, I suppose, and this is what I'm talking about. This is the context. The context is the squad that we have. This not so much. This isn't like who is world class or good compared to other teams. This is in this squad. Who is, as we go into the season, who are the great, good, decent, average, elite players in our squad, so that we can have a realistic take, to be honest, on what Manchester United or where Manchester United can be, to be honest. At least that's what I think. So who's next here? So Eriksen. Eriksen is a difficult one, man, because Eriksen is he was good, at least before his injury. Now, from what I've seen in post-injury and even in preseason, I would probably say that Eriksen is probably in the decent category. I don't know what people think, but he's all right. He's all right. He's not awful, but I don't know. I don't know. He's a good squad player for now, but I don't know. I just have yet to see him, even with the physio, to have fully recovered from that injury. I would even make the case. I don't. We let Fred go. I don't think that he played better than Fred, to be honest, when he came back. So, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. McTominay. McTominay's an interesting one because he's in the potentially we're going to sell, but more than likely not is going to keep category. So I don't know. I think that what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do with McTominay? I think McTominay goes into this. I think McTominay for me is here. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not. And to be honest, I would have rather kept Fred over McTominay, but it is what it is. Wait, what's this? The secret signing was made in. Where is this coming from? You mean Lavia or something? What's going on here? Trying to think. Yeah. So I'm a bit distracted. McTominay's in average. You put wait. So So what's the difference between average and not good enough? I personally think it's not good enough. But a lot of people saying so. Okay, I'll put him in average. I'll put him in average. I'll put him in average. Like he's what I've seen from McTominay is that when he is a number 8 and is allowed to go forward, he's actually not bad. He's not bad. But any playing deeper than that, like I don't know what. You know, for me, he's not good. Average for me is kind of like your squad player, but could potentially be sold. Not good enough is that you not good enough is like we should consider selling you, and then sell is like you are definitely being sold, essentially. That's what I think. So, but yeah, if people think he's average, yeah, we'll put him in average. We'll put him in average. Well, the next guy is Onana, man, and obviously, sorry, Alanga's been sold, so this is actually a good thing. So technically, Bai hasn't actually been sold yet, so I should probably keep him actually. But Alanga has been sold. I think it's so far Alanga's basically been our most. I think I'm just trying to think. I don't think we sold a youth player for higher than Alanga that I can think of. Because we sold Alanga for 15 mil, and I can't remember a youth player being sold to any other club for that amount from United's academy. So whatever people say about Alanga, like he's still, you know, maybe Dean Henderson might get 20 million if not was still interested. But as it stands now, like, yeah, like he's our most successful youth export. You know, whatever you think about him, that is the case. It's the case. Let's look at some comments here. Let's see some comments. Massey's talking about Kane. The deal being valid to 2020. But pen deal valid. Oh, really? That's not 2020. So that's 4 years. Charlie says, I'm really glad that Rashi scored in the last friendly game. He can score 20 goals. He can end up scoring 10. I see Rashi netting at least 20 goals. Well, I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. That's all I can say. I hope so because I've still not seen evidence yet that Rashford can really do that on the big stage yet. I want him to, but I don't see it. Remember, for those who are watching, to like the vid, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio if you are new. It goes a long way. Any other comments here? Oh, so they submitted 115? Really? I don't know who Naf Guessing is though. I don't know if I'd rely on that. Tomley's not good enough. I mean, he's not good enough to be a starter for us. So yeah, so not good enough. Yeah, I'm gonna move him to not good enough, man. I'm gonna move him to not good enough. Ericsson has passed it. Sad. I was so excited when we signed him. Too slow. Doesn't have much left in the tank to make runs. Passing not as accurate as before. Ferguson. Exactly. In fact, I might downgrade Ericsson to average, because you know a lot of the people will focus on the faults of McTominay and even Fred for that matter, so to speak. So, but a lot of games last season that we lost because Ericsson was at fault, and in the final he was at fault as well as De Gea again. And I think De Gea and Fred, McTominay, Maguire, all those scapegoats got the scapegoats, but a lot of games where those players weren't playing, but Ericsson was playing, and we got dominated. You know, so you know, I think people being a little bit biased sometimes, and are quick to sort of focus on those things, but it is what it is. Yeah, Rice for 105 means Brighton go crazy with that valuation. Also, yeah, they did. McTominay is never good enough. Shout out to Alhombre for the super chat. Thank you so much. Here for the mount rating, says Alhombre. Bump him to top, please. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. We'll spend some time on Mount. I'm building up to him. I'm building up to Mount. David T says Scottish international led a crap Scottish side to first in group with Spain in the Euro qualifiers. He's just a meth player. Daniels, yeah, but I guess Daniel James doesn't count because we bought him. Daniel James was not an academy product. Like, yes, so we made much profit from him, but he wasn't an academy product. Did we sell him for 35 mil? I don't think we sold him for that much. If we did, fair enough. But no, he wasn't an academy product. And Elumber again, still waiting for the Blues Lions channel, man. Relax, Elumbre. Relax. Blue Lions, like, I need to see what happens with this whole Caicedo thing before Blue Lions either comes back or disappears for the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for your donations, man. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, man. But I am coming to Mount. So Onana. Now, obviously, Onana's not played for Manchester United before. We still don't know much about him. Aside from the fact that, like, not we know a lot about him, but I mean, in terms of in a Premier League context, you know, he's played in Serie A, he's played in CL final, his ball distribution is much better than De Gea's. So in theory, United have got a good keeper. Obviously, he was the key keeper at the Barca academy as well, but was from there. He's a good keeper. Is he world class? I think that's a stretch. But from what I've seen at Inter, of what he's been, I think you could probably at least put him in the. Where should we put him? I put him in the good category here because I can't put him in great or elite until I've seen him play consistently for Manchester United yet. And he is still a new signing, you know. So that's why I think he is great already. But I mean, yeah, it's just a little bit too early. It's a little bit too early based on his form for Inter. Like, he should be world class. He should be. I agree. He should be elite. He should be world class. But I need to see that. I need to see that in a consistently United jersey. I need to see that consistent United jersey first. That for me is the thing. I believe he is elite, but I need to see it consistently because I've seen so many players that have just come to a Premier League and have come to a team like Manchester United, and we signed so many duds recently that I'm just hoping that Onana is going to be different. I believe he will be different, but you know, it's just the nature of the beast, I think. But yeah, obviously people agree with me. You know, Onana is elite. You know, Mo says he's elite. Smash is elite. RDS, we have to prepare ourselves like we did with Bay for the obviously Maz and Onana being. It'll be, yeah, exactly. And I don't know whether in the Premier League that will cost us. I don't know. So that's why I'm keeping him in the good category as a cautious, and also I don't want to get clipped. I don't want to get clipped. And I say Onana's elite, and then someone clips me, and then Onana ends up doing multiple howlers. So yeah, that's what I don't want to happen. Where are we? What's next? Okay, so Amad. Amad is an interesting one because I think for me, Amad was in the decent to good category. So I would say the good category based on his time in Sunderland, but unfortunately, he's got an injury. And he's not going to be back until I think the second week of season. He's not out for a long time, but you know, again, similar to what happened last season when you know he was doing good, he was balling, and then you know, Poff, you know, he's out injured again, so he's not able to get a loan right away. He's not able to. It sucks. It really sucks. So I think Amad is good, but you know. Again, in the context of the squad, you know, if he's picking up injuries, if he's doing those things, it's a bit. So I'm going to probably put Amad in decent. I think he's got potential. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he could rival Anthony in something there. But there's no point in saying that if you're out injured and we can't see you consistently perform, you know. So that's why I would put him personally. I don't know what you guys think in the chat, but you know. Oh yeah. This is a good point. We also cover Kovar for 9 minutes left, and a good deal for someone who hasn't made it to the first of any game I know people. Yes, I did post a tweet about that. This was a very good deal. You know, even though I think obviously Alanga was more, but Kovar for 9 million Slavkas was a very, very good deal. You know, which shows how much he was rated, because I think he was rated by a lot of our coaches. But it does. I mean, to be honest, when you look at our goalkeepers, a lot of our goalkeepers rated. Like Nottingham Forest did want to spend 20 million on Dean Henderson. Kovar obviously going for 9 million. Even Luton wanted what's his name again, Tom Heaton as well. Were prepared to pay money. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird that not weird, but it's interesting that how our goalkeepers are rated. So, but yeah, hope Kovar does well in Bayer Leverkusen, man. Oh, great, we have a buyback clause. Yes, that's good. That's good. If he does ball, that's good. That's good, because I see him as he's got a lot of potential, man. He really does, and he'll develop there hopefully. Fingers crossed. Who's next? Tom Heaton. For me, Tom Heaton's a decent backup keeper. I think we'll move on. I saw him in preseason. I've seen him like he's a much better shot stopper. Sorry, I want to sort of a penalty stopper than De Gea. And actually, he commands his box a lot better. Actually, Tom Heaton actually he commands his box a lot better than De Gea, I think. So yeah, I think I put Tom Heaton in the decent category. I think. So, but that is Tom Heaton anyway. The goalkeeper situation in United is crazy, because obviously we have Onana and Tom Heaton, and then I know we were linked with that Zion Zuski guy, but he's gone to Belgium, I think, instead, presumably because he'll get more game time. But going to any European league is an upgrade over the Japanese league. But you know, does he then move from there? You know, that's it. You know, so you know, it shows how ambitious the lad is, because at the end of the day, like whatever anyone says, you're not going to get any development being a third choice keeper at Manchester United. You know, you're not. So Jadon Sancho, man. Sancho's had a decent preseason. He has. But this is going into his third or fourth season at this point at Manchester United. And we need to see the real Jadon Sancho turn up. We need to see the real Jadon Sancho turn up. I still think we can't go there just yet. We can't go there just yet. And especially what I've seen in preseason, we can't go there just yet. We can't go there just yet with Jadon. We can't. Sancho's just fine. He isn't as flashy as he was in the Bundesliga, but he's shown glimpses. I know, but is glimpses good enough for this squad? You know, yeah, have to keep it 100. Sancho not good enough so far, but I believe I'm gonna put Sancho in the average pile here. And I think that, and it's interesting. I'm going to look back at this when the season's over and actually listen and reflect and think, I wonder how similar. Sorry, it's late here. I wonder how similar or not similar, or essentially like how these teams actually end up. That's what I think. I'm gonna be curious to see like which players basically overperform, which players underperformed, and to see how if my prediction still stands, so that at the end of the season when we do the preview and do another tier list to actually rank or rate these people, the players, who basically sort of moves up, who stays down, you know, etc. So yeah, it'll be quite interesting. Who's next? So I mean, look at this. So I mean, Vasmus says, you know, Sancho's been a big disappointment. I'm sure. I hope he comes good, but I can't say I'm optimistic about it. Average is actually generous. Yeah, I think I'm being generous with Sancho here, man. I could easily put him in the not good enough McTominay pile, but I don't think he's that there, because he has shown glimpses. But for me, if he doesn't step up this season, he goes in the not good enough / borderline sell category. Is what I would say. Lisandro, I think I speak for everyone. Lisandro goes into great. I could make a case that possibly maybe elite. Possibly maybe elite. Possibly maybe elite. Between great and elite, I think. The Butcher, he's got a World Cup. He's got the experience. Our defense has been transformed and we've conceded far, far, far less goals. You know, I can make a case for him here. You know, him and Varane, I'm happy. Him and Varane, I'm happy. The only thing I won't put him in elite is because of that freaking meme where Salah sends him to like the Twilight Zone, like through the portal, some end game or something like that. He literally Salah sends him away in the portal. Like he was done there. It was so bad. And one or two other things, you know. So, but I think he's between here and here personally. You know, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how he progresses this season, especially just coming out the foot injury. But you'd like to think that he'll be fine. Let's see. Who's next? Eric Bay. I mean, technically, Eric Bay hasn't been sold yet. But I think he's probably gonna go. He's been shot out of the first team, so the sell bit I think is valid. Martial. This is sad. This is sad because I love Martial. I think Martial is an important player for us. But he's too injury prone. He's too injury prone, and then when he comes back, he is, very, very, very inconsistent. I've just realized the lighting on this video isn't that great. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, he's injury prone. He's injury prone. He's injury prone, and even when he comes back, when he's available, he makes a lot of average performances. So sorry for any Martial fans. He's become, I can't, guys. I can't Martial. I can't buy this Martial hype train nonsense anymore. He's not good enough for Manchester United. Not because it's necessarily him, but probably because of the injuries. The injuries make it very, 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 very difficult, I think, for Martial. Personally, that's what I think. That's what I think personally. Where are we? Martinez is good. Leach, a future captain. I mean, yeah, he's exactly won the World Cup. Yeah, line with that mean still keeps me humble. I don't over exaggerate when praising on the phone because I know exactly. That's why I can't put him. I can't put him in elite just yet because if you do that, like that meme, just sending him to the Avengers comics, man. It was bad. It was bad. It's so bad. Marshall is not good yet. I put him there. He's not good enough. Not because I think he doesn't have the potential, but he's just too many injuries and inconsistent. Wan-Bissaka, I put Wan-Bissaka. It's going to be again between good and great in the context of this squad. I think again with Wan-Bissaka, you notice that like when he's not present, again, is Dalot completely bad defensively? No, but there is now a notable difference between Wan-Bissaka. Defensively, I think he's obviously he's always been sound, makes the right tackles, challenges, etc. But offensively, he's improved. And that's why you could make a case that he's an important player as far as the squad goes as well, getting the super chats. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Muzzy with the 6 euro super chat says, "What do you think we get for Martial price range?" Muzzy, man. Thank you for the super chat as well. For Martial, nothing, bro. Nothing for two simple reasons. One, He's on high wages at Manchester United. So Manchester United would have to supplement his wages if it was going. I think he's only got 1 more year left. And two, you're asking a club, any club in the world, to take a risk on a highly injury-prone player. This guy can't play football. He's a skeleton. So I don't know. I genuinely believe United probably wanted to get Martial off the books this season, but they couldn't because no club wanted this dude, and it's sad. It's sad. It's sad, but that's what I think. I don't think. I generally don't think that we can get much, if anything at all, for Anthony Martial. Like I wish that was not the case, but you know, I I don't know what else to say really with that because he's just too injury prone, and when he comes back, he's literally like glass. And what team would want to risk spending, you know, even 5-10 million pounds? Even though I think he's worth more when he's fit, when he's good, when he's on fire. Of course, he's worth more than that. As it stands now, you're taking a risk. Hopefully, that answers the question. Yeah, but I think so. That's for AW. AW is good to great. Exactly. In underrated players always improving. Yes, exactly. Wan-Bissaka is good. I take, I take less, man. I take less, David T. I would take less. But yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka comes in between good to great. I think, as you can see there, I would say. Next is Casemiro. I'm gonna put Casemiro's here. Casemiro is elite. Casemiro is elite. I don't care what anyone says. Casemiro is elite. He's elite. Casemiro is elite. He's just been so good for us. He has been so good for Manchester United. I'm not saying he's been perfect, but you know, you've got a CDM who, you know, makes good tackles, is physical, is good on the ball, and can score goals. And obviously has got the history of Real Madrid. And as soon as he comes into the team, we win a trophy because we do. You know, he comes in, we won a trophy. You know, so for me, I mean, I don't think there'll be that many people in the chat that will disagree with me that they feel that Casemiro should be elite. You know, I assume they're not that many there people in the chat. I'll have a look. I'll have a look and see. Casemiro exactly. Exactly. Casemiro elite. Yes, as Casemiro. Yeah, yeah. I don't think anyone is here saying Casemiro is not elite. You know. Shogun Kun says Oli gone on social media him into an injury prone player. Martial, possibly, but I think he was somewhat injury prone even under Jose, to be honest. So I'm not sure. This is a game one Saka. I think he's the most talented defensive player we have. Also, it can't be Wan-Bissaka because he's defensive, but he's just not playable. Can't depend on him to finish 60 minutes. I think that's Martial. Yeah, but yeah, Casemiro definitely elite. Definitely elite. Tyrell Malacia. I'll put him in the decent category. I'll put him in the decent. I don't think I've seen enough from him yet that I think that he's going to sort of displace any of the starters. But I think he's a decent squad player. He'll do a job, and I think he's got time to develop. So he's not going to set the world on fire, I think, this season, but like he will develop. So that's why for me, I think I would place him in the decent category as opposed to the average or the good category. He's got potential. Let's see what happens. Now, Diogo Dalot, who obviously he's back up to Wan-Bissaka currently, or they're alternating. Great going forward, good assists, etc. But defensively, seems to be wanting. But he's also been very good for United still, and scoring goal. I think I'll put him in the good category along with Wan-Bissaka. They are difficult to separate. So look. All right, I'm trying to move this. There we go. That's what I think anyway. So Lindelof. Lindelof. I think that was a good season last season. I'm putting Lindelof in good. I think Lindelof had a good season last season, especially when he was called in as backup centre back to. He was third choice backup to Varane and Martinez, and when he came in, it was solid. We didn't concede that much with Lindelof and Martinez or Lindelof and Varane. It was solid defending with Luke Shaw covering. So for me, Lindelof goes into the good category, but I don't know what people think. How do you separate average and decent? Decent for me means that it's like a solid player that kind of has a bit of potential. What's on that? No, that's not by the way. Decent means like decent's almost like I'm undecided, but I can see, I can see what this player brings, is what I would say. Average is someone who is essentially a name, like they're just average. They're just, they're okay, nothing particularly special about them. A decent player has something in them that's special about them that may or may not be unlocked. That's basically how I would separate it. So I see potential in Amad, in Malacia, and I believe that Tom Heaton is actually a decent third choice for the context. So context is also important as well. So yeah, that's if that helps. I think a right back will be brought in next summer. Dalot and Amrabat decide to fight out this year. Yep, no, I agree. I think that will happen. So let's move on. Who's next? Van der Beek. I mean, I see him. He's not been sold yet, but he probably is going to go. Van der Beek. He's Ollie got a lot of hate for not playing Van der Beek. Ollie got a lot of hate for not playing Van der Beek, and I just think it's interesting that Van der Beek has been under 4 different managers technically. Ollie, Carrick. Okay, they're not that great, but then you were under Ralf Rangnick, and now you're under your own former boss in Ten Hag, and all of them don't seem to rate you that highly. So that tells me like all 4 coaches can't all be wrong. There's something there, and I just think that he, for whatever manner it means, he's just not built for the Premier League. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it is what it is. He's just not seen as being good enough. And to be honest, looking at him play, he's been okay, but I wouldn't say that he's done enough to dislodge establishing the starters personally. So I don't think he's good enough. I think the coach don't think he's good enough either. Let's have a look at the chat again. You get a decent bargain of Saudi for Martial, of course. I've been scared. I felt scared for play in games and recovery training like I did with Martial. Let's have a look. I think a right back we bought next summer. Yeah. I mean, we could still go for Pavard, and Pavard can play on the right, so there is that. I don't rate Dallas as David T. I'm sorry, more of a winger midfielder. That goal versus Lens still hurts. It does actually. It does. Lindelof is decent. Iceman decent to good. Too many defensive errors, but in the right system can be very good. Do you think we'll talk about that? Well, because as soon as I've gone through the squad, we're gonna go through the starting. What I think will be the starting 11, or what's the best starting 11? Actually, that's the key. The best starting 11. Lindelof is all right. Came to us as a prodigy from Benfica. He hasn't lit the world up, but it's going because of why he's highly rated in Benfica. Also, remember he scored that penalty, the winning penalty in the semi-final. So you got to give him that. Ashid Mia, the season started yet for us. Yet the season hasn't started yet for us. Yet you already. I'm not sure what you mean, Ashid. Donny's the sell for me. We're just we're just paying us. I mean, you could move him there. He does need to be sold. He does. Let's move Donny. Let's just I'll keep him there. I'll keep him there. Now, here we come to some youth players and a certain Mason Mount. But Hannibal, um, Hannibal, where'd you put these youngsters? Is difficult, man. I should put alone. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat for a second. I'm going to cheat. Let me put in another category here. Move that. What have I done? So there. What I'm going to do, add a row above like that, and let's give it this color. Cool. So what I'm going to do is going to put this here, and I'm going to put a cheat. I'm going to put loan. It's a cheat, but we should loan. And because we're getting to some youth kids now, and to be honest, Hannibal, me, now that we're coming to mention, I think he is good. I think he's got decent growth. He's got potential. But for me, I don't think he's gonna get enough game time, and so that's why I would say, and that's why I'm putting his Fatu. I think he needs to be loaned. He's not gonna get the minutes at Manchester United, and he needs to do what Ahmad and what he did. You know, he needs. You know, David T said, I'd keep Hannibal, but our midfield. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I added a loan, because Mainu is going to first team, and you're in a situation where you're going to have Bruno, Mount, McTominay, I guess, Casemiro, Ericsson, Amrabat, probably, 6, 7. So I don't know. That's what I would say. So I think Hannibal is not going to get the game time. He needs to go out on loan. I think Hannibal and Mainu are ready. Just need to. No, they're definitely ready. I just think that you got to think. There's only 3 midfield spots, and right now Ten Hag is playing Casemiro and Bruno and Mount to a certain extent. So where do, and then you want to get Amrabat, and then you might want to bring in Ericsson sometimes, and then you might want to bring. I just don't see Hannibal getting enough game time. I don't. I think he needs a loan. Palestri. Palestri is an interesting one. Palestri is a very interesting one, because with Ahmad and Palestri both being involved, I don't want to loan Palestri out. But again, I'm like, how many games is Palestri going to get? How many games is Palestri going to get? How many games? I don't know. I don't know how many games Palestri is going to get. Big T says Ericsson average. Currently, yes, I would say. I think that Palestri is better than Ahmad. Yeah, I think I can say that because of the fact that because Ahmad has been injured, and we only saw him briefly, and then he got injured. Palestri is talented, he should stay, but I'm just thinking, this is all about I want him to stay, but where's he going to play? And this is the key thing for me, really, with a lot of the young players. It's it's all well and good saying you want them to stay, but at the end of the day, how much game time are they really going to get? You've got a front three. You've got, obviously, Højlund is now in. You've got Rashford. You've got Sancho. You've got Anthony. I guess technically, Martial is there, although does he really even count? Bruno, maybe, if you want to fit in the whole Mount Bruno sort of thing. That's about it. So maybe you could, and obviously Ahmad and maybe you could. Okay, yeah, maybe you could keep him. Maybe you could keep him. Maybe you could keep him, actually. Maybe you could keep him. So I say we keep Palestri then. And I think you could put Palestri into probably the decent to good category. I think I'll put him in decent to good, because he's not played tons of games for Manchester United, so I think that's fair. I don't know what you go think, but I think that's fair. Is this Chelsea working on both? What? How are Liverpool getting dunked on, man? This is bad. SSB, where are you? You seem to have left the chat, man. Where have you gone, man? Where have you gone? Where have you gone, man? I get PTSD with pleasure because I saw us let go of Foden, and I see the same thing with pleasure, but I don't want it to. I don't want it to. True. Sorry, Forlan. Sorry, I don't understand. True. Man, we really should have kept Forlan, and we didn't. So yeah, I hear, buddy. I hear. Now on to the big one. Oh man, Mason Mount, Money Mason Mount. It's funny to see Liverpool getting dumped on. It is actually funny. It is. And thanks for the super chat, by the way, again, Marzi. I really appreciate it. Okay. In fact, I'm not going to say anything. In fact, this is the one. This is going to be one for the chat, because I want to keep my agenda away from this. Where do you want me to put Mason Mount? I'll wait to see responses. Where should Mason Mount be in this list? Where should Mason Mount be? Let me know in the chat. I want you to tell me where I should put Mason Mount. And then I'll come to a consensus. So we've got. So Samasi has said Mason is mid is average. So we've got average. Rating Mount over his entire career, I think he's a very good player. So good seems to be what Mo says. K Slade says, other than last season, he's been good. Okay, so good, says K. Big T says sell. Bro, man, that's a bit extreme, isn't it? Thus far, Mount has not been good enough. Okay. What's this? Liverpool have what's this? Liverpool have snapped out. Oh dear. Thank you again for the super Mount flop of the season. I mean, so where are we? Thank you for the super chat again, Muzzy man. I really appreciate it. I would do. All this stuff goes back into the channel, by the way. So if you want to consider being a member of the channel, I am wanting to get the member hangout streams back, and we just don't have the members number count as of yet. So, but and also making some exclusive member only videos as well. So I'm working on that. Let me David T's a member. Let me know what member content you want as well. So, but yeah, if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member of the channel. Obviously, super chat. I do appreciate money goes back into the channel. What I was saying, so King Stashes, Mount is world class. I mean, thanks for the super chat again, King Stash. I mean, come on, guys. Really? Are we really rating this? Are we really rating Mount? Really? Oh, thank you, Samasi. Thank you, Samasi. Appreciate you becoming a member again, Samasi. Really appreciate it. I mean, I need to get the members hangouts back. I need to bring them now that you come in. I need to get the members hangouts back now. So, but I appreciate that, Samasi. Are you? Show it says Mason Mount is good against Liverpool. So okay, so the general consensus seems to be English quality should be not good enough. The only reason he's here is because of Eriksen's lack of pace. Oh man. Mo does say, however, just watching preseason and how good Mount is at pressing moving off the ball, I say good to great. A bit rusty of the ball, but that's to be expected. And this is the thing. To be fair, he is good at press. I think that's why we got him. You know, he's good at pressing. And you know, I do think that if our front three really clicked this season, put away the goals, I think we could score a lot of goals. I think we could really score a lot of goals. But we need the front three to click. We do. So you know what? Because everyone seems to be loving this Mason Mount, I'll put him in good. I'll put Mason Mount in the good category. I'll put him in the good category. Brandon Williams, I think, is probably in the not good enough. I think we can probably all agree. I don't think he's going to be sold. Doesn't seem to be a lot of teams interested in him. Maybe he might get a push and move. I don't know. He seems to be fine at United. I'm not sure. But yeah, Brandon Williams, yeah, not good enough. Not good enough. He came in, he had some time to social, but it was fine. It was okay. Appreciate it. King Stash. King Stash has become an always become a member. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it, man. So you guys are inspiring me now. So members hangouts are back and member videos are coming. Member hangouts are back and members are cancer. But really appreciate you becoming a member, King Stash. Really appreciate it, man. Really do. Weghorst and Fred were good at pressing. Weghorst wasn't good at pressing. Weghorst, he was okay at pressing. He was okay. And Fred, I actually think that Fred is better than Mason Mount. So I'm not gonna, but that's just my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. I left the decision to the streets. So let's see what happens. But yeah, thank you for the new membership. Really appreciate it, guys. Dean Henderson now. This is interesting because he should be sold. It looks like we're going to sell him, but I mean, I don't know. With the way that Nottingham Forest is moving, it might be that he stays, and we can't have him stay. He's got, in fact, let me just put him here. Like, he's got to be sold. Dean Henderson's got to be sold because he was one of the leaks during the Ollie era, and he will be a disruptive influence in the dressing room. Now, there's no way that Dean Henderson's better than Onana anyway, full stop. But the fact that he can't get that move, is just, I don't know. It's just not. I think I'm missing something in the chat. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds. Everyone's saying thanks, King Stash. I see that King Stash has gifted memberships. It's not coming up in my StreamYard chat. So if King Stash has done that, big up King Stash. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, buddy. Really appreciate it. But yeah, he needs to be sold, guys. He needs to be sold because he's a disruptive influence. And he needs to be sold. But if he's not sold, I don't really know what we do. Because we can't have a situation where you've got Onana, Dean Henderson, and Tom Heaton as our three goalkeepers. I don't think. Tom Heaton, as far as I'm concerned, is number 2, and then 3, I will just promote someone from the youth academy. That's what I would do. Promote someone from the youth academy. Do that because unless like you genuinely want to find some up and coming talent, which we did in Zion, but Zion was ambitious and wanted to see more. But for me, just promote a youth academy product and then take it from there. That's what I would do. Yes, you guys gifted. Yes, thank you so much. King Stash. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, buddy. Says Chelsea dream remains clear. I'm gonna switch off when it comes to the to Chelsea and the thing. I just don't care about them more. Like it's just annoying. Oh dear, Liverpool, man. Liverpool in the mud, man. There you go, Liverpool. Anyway, who we got next? Anthony. Now, Anthony's again another player who I'm still undecided with. And I'm interested to see what people think in the chat as well, where Anthony goes. Um, we obviously paid a lot of money for the dude, but I'm still, I don't know, I'm still not sure about this guy. I think he's got potential. I think he can improve. And to be fair, he had a better first season than Grealish had at City for a lesser amount. But don't know about this guy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm in a very I don't know. I'm gonna get this again. This might be another one for the chat. What is this? HH has got into you, artist. he probably has, to be honest. He probably has. He probably has. I'm just seeing what does it think. I'm just clicking the chat, guys. Sophie and Amber and Tukmeni are waiting, as in for us. Well, we're not going to get Tukmeni. He's not leaving Madrid. Does Mbappe move? That's if Mbappe signs for United on loan. Okay, fine. We won the window. I'll take that. Anti average for X. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I think it's put him in average. Anti an average. If he can improve his defensive discipline as well, that's decent. So I'll put him on average here. And again, this is contextual. And this is based on the squad as well. So with Anthony, you need another box that says bench. So I guess that's what the average to decent bench is. That's essentially the bench. You think about it. Decent average is bench. Good and elite is basically our starting 11 effectively. David says he's a yo-yo merchant. He's good one day, he's bad next. Has time to go though. Didn't know he was young until I googled his age. And then Shoat Khan says, "Don't you think it will take the players on if he wants to understand Ten Hag's system of play?" I don't think so. I mean, we want to play transition quick on the transition. That's our play. It shouldn't really be that difficult to go to implement, especially because of Onana. If we had De Gea, I would probably agree with you. But now that we have Onana, I don't think it should, to be honest. Alessandro Garnacho. I don't know who this guy is. I'm trying to think. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this? Let me know in the chat. Who is this guy? That's Garnacho. Who is this guy? I'm trying. It's not Palestri, obviously. Who is this guy? But it's probably going to be a loan. I'm moving to a loan. But Garnacho, I think, is good. Garnacho, obviously, he had a bit of an injury, had a bit of an out, but I've seen Garnacho. I watched preseason. I've seen Garnacho, and Garnacho looks hungry. He looks like he can eat, and I mean, Fernandez, yes, darn it, Fernandez, yes. Okay, I think my stance is still the same. Sorry, Fernandez. Thank you, Rasmus. Thank you. It is Fernandez, Alvaro Fernandez, who actually has had a decent preseason actually. But like I said, I think that I think he's not going to get first team football. So he needs to seek out a loan. Decent prospect, but I think needs to actually seek out a loan. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Alvaro Fernandez. Yeah. But so going back to Garnacho, Garnacho looks good, I think, and if Mount could actually not be an average player, he would have had a pretty good assist there because he ran. It's just like all the Garnacho looks good, and the scary thing about Garnacho, in my opinion, is that you think if Højlund comes into this team as number 9, Garnacho is the competition for Rashford, if you think about it. I don't know what's going to happen about the Greenwood situation, so I'm not going to go into that. But in theory, on the left wing, you've got obviously you've got Højlund, Martial, although Martial is basically non-existent. Sancho and Anthony. Obviously, Sancho can play on the left as well. Anthony on the right. Ahmad when he's fit, maybe. But Garnacho really is the main. I mean, Garnacho can play on the right as well, but I've much rather seen Garnacho on the left. And I don't know, guys. Like, there are times when I'm just thinking, we're coming to starting 11, best starting 11 soon, and I don't know. There's a question to be had about Rashford versus Garnacho on that left side. I think that if you don't have Højlund, you play Rashford through the middle. But if Højlund is there and you have to play number 9, do you start Marcus Rashford over Garnacho? I don't know. But for me, Garnacho goes in a good. I believe this season Garnacho, if he's unleashed, I think Garnacho could have a really good season for us. I think he's certainly one of our key players going into this season. Incredibly key, in my personal opinion. Let's have a look at some of these things. Andrew, he's our young right back. Yeah, that's why I think that I just don't think he's going to get the senior game time. I don't think he'll dislodge Adala or Wan-Bissaka as of yet. So a good loan. That's why I'd say a good loan. Brass says, by the way, what do you think of the pathetic attempt by PSG telling Mbappe that him to leave on a free would result in selling a lot of key players in Saka? PSG a clown club, Rasmus. To the point where I'm not even scared of them if we meet them in the Champions League. They're Neymar's gone, Messi's gone, and Mbappe, is probably going to be out and missed or whatever. The midfield, they're clown club. They're clown club. Garnacho is decent. We need to stop hyping on the kid and allow him to develop. Yeah, I mean, see, I agree that he's not. I'm not talking he's like world class or elite or anything like that. But like the thing is that like for me with Garnacho is that certainly from preseason, from my watch and towards into last season, it's the consistency of Garnacho. I feel like Garnacho is more of certainly in the latter third of last season into preseason. I felt that Garnacho was a much more consistent player than Rashford. Rashford can get you a goal or get you a goal or two, but in terms of the performances, I feel like Garnacho is currently anyway giving him a more consistent performance. His explosive pace obviously helps. The fact that I just like when players take on players. That a player can have the ball, can dribble, can take on a player. That's what Rashford doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if Rashford has ever really done that. Really, Martial has done it and does it really well. So I love when I see like a winger like come in and is like, listen, yeah, you've got the space, take on the player, take on. Yes, he might lose the ball, but take him on instead of waiting. Bar mount, all the players Ten Hag brings in know how Ten Hag plays. That is why he's bringing them in. That's fair. Moen says Alvaro can replace Malacia for me. If he improves defensively, he can be our future left back. It's fair. Okay. And what I like about Garnacho is he's fearless, love running at players, very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Indeed. That's essentially what I said, basically. So obviously, we've got Højlund to come into this, so and Højlund, probably you could put Højlund in maybe the decent, I guess, until we see what he does on the field. But I think before I move on, obviously, you look here and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 players that you'd say, right, are good to great to elite that we can basically use, to sort of compete. And then obviously have everybody else. My question for the chat is, what are the expectations? If you're a United fan, what are the expectations for the season? Before I go to the best starting 11, with how we've broken down this squad, where we feel each player is, their potential, etc., etc., what are the expectations? Because you look, on the one hand, you could say, wow, well, United have got a lot of good players. They've got a lot of good players, a lot of good players, but they only have one really elite player. And what I would say is that, can you really expect the team, with only one elite player to win the Premier League, to win the Champions League? I'm not sure. Maybe the Champions League, because Chelsea did win it. With, I guess, the elite player would be Thiago Silva. Yeah. So maybe you can do it. But I don't know. A league, no. A league, you need multiple. Haaland is elite. De Bruyne is elite. Edison is elite. Rodri is elite. Even you can make a case that Nathan Ake is at this point elite. And he came from Bournemouth. So I look at this and I think, okay, what are United's expectations for the season based on the squad that I see right now? Obviously, Højlund comes into this. And I say, I say that, I say that this team should be comfortably getting top 4. So my expectation, looking at this squad, from what I see, is that United should be comfortably getting top 4. That they should have a solid cup run. I'd like to get to the semi-final of the FA Cup and the Carabaos, at least. And then for the Champions League, I think, looking at this squad, a quarter-final appearance should be the minimum. Quarter-final appearance should be the minimum. Anything less than those things, I'd be disappointed. I'd be disappointed if we got knocked out before the semi-finals in the cup competitions, with the exception of if we place Manchester City, then it is what it is. But every other team, we should really be able to give them a go. We should be able to give Arsenal a go. We should be able to give Chelsea a go, Newcastle, Liverpool a go at this point. City, So if we lose to City, we've got drawn against them. It is what it is. If we don't, semis minimum. Champions League, quarters, I think, minimum. I'm still not convinced we can go with that, but it depends obviously who we get drawn, of course, but that's my expectation. I know we won the Carabao Cup last season, and a part of that was because of the draw. And also, if people forget the fact that Karras was in the Newcastle goal, that was also a factor as well. But we deserve to win. I just think it's going to be a bit harder this season. But that's just my 2 cents. I mean, I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's go as it says, Garnacho time seems to be the only unselfish winger we have. Anthony should take too many shots and hardly. Yes, exactly. That's another reason why at times I'm kind of like, and we'll talk about the best starting 11 in a second, because there's sometimes I'm thinking I would start Garnacho over Rashford, but we'll talk about that later. He's scored 4 goals in 20 appearances. He's not starting over Rashford. But that's what I'm saying. It's not. But the thing is, it's not about the goals, though. Just because Rashford, you're right. I agree. But the thing is, it's not just about the goals with Garnacho. From what I can see, it's also about his assists. It's also about his movement. and my biggest issue with at times with Rashford is that his movement isn't good, and he doesn't pass. So I wonder how many assists he gave to Rashford last season, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, Same. Didn't fear them after that Rashford when that Joe actually Buffon. That was funny. That was funny. That was funny. That was funny. Garnacho is a left side Anthony. Runs, he comes inside, he shoots. I don't think Garnacho is as one-footed as Anthony. And also, I feel like Garnacho actually takes players on better than Anthony does. He's got a bit more composure as well because Anthony shoots out of nowhere and sometimes doesn't pass. So I think expectations. So I think we're back on to expectation. What do people have for expectations for the season? 3rd and 2 trophies. What are those 2 trophies, David T? Clearly, one of them isn't the Premier League. So is it Champions League? Top 5. That's it. The squad isn't good enough. And I think Mega, I think Mega echoes some sentiments or similar sentiments to me. I think we can do better than 5th. But I would say a comfortable 4th personally, because I think really the only, okay, you can make a case that Liverpool, if they don't sign, could be in dire straits. Liverpool could be in dire straits if they don't get their signings. But aside from that, and Spurs, they've lost Harry Kane. So as far as I'm concerned, Spurs aren't a threat because they've lost Harry Kane. So really, you're thinking City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool. Can United beat at least because top 5? So can United beat any one of those teams and go ahead on the teams? If the way Liverpool going, potentially probably Liverpool, Newcastle squad depth, maybe Newcastle, Chelsea. We'll see. So United with this squad should still comfortably be in the top 4, top 5. Will they win a trophy though? We'll see. You need to challenge at least, second on the UCL is that that should be, we should be qualifying in the group and absolutely, there should be no doubt about that in my opinion. Let me quickly go to shout out to Muslims for the 12 euro super chat. Appreciate it, Muslim man. Thank you for the support. Really do. Let's face it, it's got to be a comfortable top 4 finish and last 16 to quarters in the Champions League. I'd say even quarters, bro. With the amount of money that we spent, it's got to be quarters. I think we're one more summer window away from challenging on all fronts. Instead, we're getting sold. Exactly. But yeah, we should be in a comfortable top 4 finish race, and for me, quarters of the Champions League, and hopefully maybe 2 good cup runs. Because we had good cup runs. We got to the final of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup last season. So we had really good cup runs. We just lost to City in the FA Cup final, but beat Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. So I'm glad that we took them seriously. So from that, I expect that at least that we should get to semi-finals, unless we face Manchester City, in which case we probably won't. But that's what I would say. What other people's expectations? We should be the kind of dark horse, kind of Arsenal season. However, hard to compete with them with that freak of nature up front who is clown that. Haaland is a cheat code, man. Haaland is a cheat code, man. I mean, whatever you say about Ollie, man, Ollie did say, like, guys, you guys need to buy this guy. You guys need to buy Haaland and Bellingham. Ollie was like, you guys need to go out and buy Haaland and Bellingham and Caicedo. Guys, buy Haaland, Bellingham, Caicedo. Guys, get him. And Woodward was like, nah. Woodward was like, no way. And there you go. All 3 of those players, but it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. We should close the gap significantly. Otherwise, we're just wasting time. You're right. You're right. We should. Whether we will is another matter entirely. You know, at the very least, we should not be getting beat and being slapped and conceding 7-6 goals. I don't want to see any of that this season. Us being disgraced like that 3-4 times, putting in 4, 5, 6 away. No, not at all. City betting on is unsporting, unsportingly. Yeah, Haaland is a cheat code, man. What can you do? Haaland is a cheat code. So let's quickly. I'm gonna quickly switch to the formation generator, and this is where things get interesting. This is where things get interesting, guys. So hopefully everyone can see that. And we go on to the best starting 11 for United this season. This is where things are going to get interesting. I'm going to turn this one, yeah. And I'm going to switch to this, I think. Right. It gets real. So you've seen the squad. Now it's who's going to start. Who is the best starting 11 for Manchester United? Obviously, this is interactive as well, guys. But obviously, so I'm going to put, obviously, Onana's going to be in goal. There's no doubt about that. So we'll put Andre Onana there on our goalkeeper. Oh, sorry, no, I've not put it. That's because I've got another one open. There, change that. There we go. So Onana is in goal. Centre backs, I think you still go with Lisandro. And then you go with Varane as well. So I think that back three is going to be a consistency this season. Maybe Lindelof comes in there occasionally. Maybe Tolibert comes in. I think Tolibert might give competition for Varane and possibly Lisandro, but we'll see. Right back is where things get interesting, and for me, it's got to be Wan-Bissaka. Yeah. Dalot isn't a bad right back, but he can score brilliant goals like that. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just think that defensively, and again, let me know what you think in the chat, guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think. He's yeah. I mean, Daisy says he's got to be there. Wan-Bissaka, man. Shout out to James Crocker, by the way, man. Hope you Jarvis Crocker, by the way. I hope you're doing well. I need to DM you because I really would want to do a collab on the is it MEFC Realist or something MEFC Realist channel, because you guys post a lot of good content there. It'd be good to have some good banter. So yeah, let me know. It'd be great to come on the show on the channel and hang out with you guys. It'd be really good. Yeah, a lot of people saying Wan-Bissaka all day. Wan-Bissaka. Spurs and Brighton play out the back better than us. What do you think our star will be in this season? I mean, what I would say is that I'm still not worried about Spurs because I don't know who's going to be scoring Spurs goals next season. Now that Kane is gone, as good, even if they do play better back from us. I suspect our style of play, and I could be wrong here, is gonna be quick transition. I don't think that we're going to be spending a lot of time playing out from the back. I just think we want short, quick 1-2 passes that we can be in the opponent's half, keep them there, press, and get our goals that way. That's what I think, from what I can see anyway. I don't expect us to be spending a lot of time in our own half, playing out the back, and building up possession up until the opponent's half. I think it's just going to be like, there's going to be a lot of long balls, I think. A lot of long balls, a lot of quick passing. That's what I think. There's going to be a lot of long balls from what I can see. That's what I think. Let's have a look. Right. Left back. So Luke Shaw. Question. He's going to be our left back, Luke Shaw. Malacia is not good enough at this point. Be back up as a squad player. DM obviously is going to be Casemiro. Midfield is where things get interesting, though. I can't really say anything about Amrabat as of yet because we've not signed Amrabat. But right now, it's going to be Mount and Bruno. It's going to be. So I need to be careful. So I apologize. The green screen has me kind of in and out sometimes. So I'm going to try and focus on the thing. Anyway, it's probably going to be Mount and Bruno. And I just think that leaves us midfield too unbalanced, man. Like, obviously, the transfer isn't over yet. So I'm only going based on who we have in the squad right now. Actually, no. I can go with injured players. You know what? This is what I think. I don't know whether he's in. He's not in. I don't think he's in. I would put Kobe Mainu. I'd say Casemiro, Kobe, and Bruno is what I would do. If we sign Amrabat, then he goes to the right. Exactly. If we sign Amrabat, he goes on the right for me, at least in the big games. Sorry, if we sign Amrabat, Bruno goes to the right for me, at least. Yeah, exactly. We can't play Bruno and Mount against the top teams. Certainly not against City or Liverpool. Well, basically any team that has a better midfield than us, I wouldn't play it because both of those players are not going to track back and we're going to get swamped and overwhelmed. It's not a good idea. Against Luton, sure. Against Wolves, fine. We're going to preview it towards the end, yes, but not against City. So this issue of the squad runners, I'm trying to pick the best starting 11, and I can't because the midfield is so it's just not balanced. But from the squad that we have right now, the only thing I can really say, I would put Mainu in. I don't think there is an option for Mainu though, unfortunately, which I think I find a bit odd. Yeah, I don't think there is. Unfortunately, put Mount. So I put Mount here on the left. And Bruno. It is almost 1 o'clock here. So that's it in terms of the midfield for now. And like I said, that midfield scares me. It really, really, really scares me right now. Now, because not on Amber yet. Now, striker, we're going to be playing Højlund. So we'll put Højlund there, number 9. We're going to be playing him. He is going to be on number 9 this season. We have a number 9. It is what it is. The question then becomes who plays on the right and who plays on the left. I'm interested to see what Rasmus says here. Let's have Rasmus says. Onana, Amrabat, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Bruno, Anthony, Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund. I try 4-4-2. I know 4-2 now doesn't put, but gonna leave Rashford or Garnacho. Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Having seen Ten Hag in pre-season, you know, I think he is going to play Bruno and Mount as a pressing together. Obviously, Højlund comes in as the number 9, and I think you play Rashford. I think Garnacho goes to the bench still, which I think he'll be okay with. I don't think he's pushing for a move as of yet, you know. So I think Rashford goes to the left. Then, to be honest, I'd like Sancho in preseason. Sancho in preseason. Anthony's been okay in preseason. I think you start with Sancho in preseason. Amad is obviously injured, and I don't think you could throw Amad in right away. So I personally think this so far is the best starting 11, but this can change depending on if we get any more midfield or any additional signings, midfield, striker, etc. So let me know what you think, because I do think that this is probably how Ten Hag wants to play, at least against the majority of the teams in the Premier League. City, probably not. And I imagine that he'll probably want to bring in Amrabat into that role. Probably. That's the only thing that I think that potentially might change on maybe the right sort of side, depending on how Sancho and Anthony do. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the chat. You know, I mean, Big T does say Bruno is poor on the right, and Ten Hag won't play Anthony. He seems to love playing Bruno on the right, though. So there's a part of me that does feel that he might shift Bruno to the right if, you know, he's not happy with something in midfield. I'm not sure. And, you know, Ron says, again, against small teams, that lineup should be our best. I agree. Yeah. Which is the majority of the, you know, against the bottom 10 teams, I think this is the team that will probably play. And I think it's still good enough to beat those teams. Depending on how Højlund does, you can alternate by bringing Rashford in, number 9, and then bringing, like, obviously Garnacho in, you know, or, you know, this front three is the thing about this one is it's quite fluid. Rashford can come in, Sancho can come to the left, Rashford can sometimes go to the right. I obviously assume Juan come in as well. So it is a fluid, you know, it is a fluid front three, I think, which can be helpful. But we'll see what happens. Now, finally, with this, because we're still on formation generator going through, I'll do a quick, because for those obviously watching, I'm not, because I don't know as much time as I have. I'm not going to be doing many match previews on this channel going forward. Match reactions, I'll be doing match reactions. I'm doing a match reaction on Monday, but previews not so much. So I'm only really going to be doing previews probably for the big Premier League games and Champions League, and then big cup games. That's kind of where I am. But the replacement for that is that, like I said, we're doing match reactions for everything. And also we'll be doing watch-alongs, but the watch-alongs will be on Twitch. So if you want to tune on the watch-alongs, links in the description. In fact, I might even post a link in the chat. Wherever it is, I'll find it somewhere. 2 seconds, everybody. But yeah, I will be doing watch-alongs. I'll be watching along the United Wolves game, but it will be on Twitch, my Twitch channel. So if you want to tune into the watch-alongs, please follow me on Twitch, and I will post a link in the chat. And that's now. So there you go. Hopefully we can get to 100 followers on Twitch before the end of the year. That'd be great. So consider following me on Twitch for that match watch-alongs. Asma says, of course, one problem with my starting 11 is if we start with these players, who is coming off from the bench? If attackers aren't performing, Sancho definitely not exciting so, and who else? Exactly. I think that Garnacho is still going to be a bench player for a bit this season until an opportunity arises, i.e. an injury, which, you know, might be in the form of, Sancho or Anthony, and then maybe Rashford goes to right and Garnacho goes to left, for example, or Rashford injury or stuff like that. That's what I think is probably going to happen. But anyway, let's just quickly round up because obviously it's getting a bit late and it's almost 2 hours. And it's been a long show, but there's been a lot to cover because it's been a season preview. But thank you so much for tuning in. And obviously, thank you for everyone who's liking the video as well, and for the kind donations and for the new members. I really, really appreciate it all. So, yeah, the United obviously playing Wolves at home. And, it's the first game of the season. It's a home game. And Wolves have basically sacked Lopetegui, or they've parted ways, and they've got a new manager now. New manager bounce is something O'Neill. Now, I hate new manager bounce, but you'd like to think that he's not had the players for a while. They've not got a style of play. United home. United should be beating Wolves. Wolves have not been great, and they won't go under Lopetegui. They've not prepared. It's a Monday night game. We should be beating Wolves, guys. We should be beating Wolves. We really, really should be beating Wolves. So if I look at the starting 11 for Wolves, so obviously I'm going to make assumption. Most of it still stays the same, I think. I think that I don't think you need to change the midfield against Wolves. I think you've got enough there in the back, 4, 5, including Casemiro, to contain Wolves. Ruben Neves is obviously gone. Sorry. So, and they've not made many signings. So I generally think that this probably should be enough. The only thing, like I said, I would change in the case of Wolves is that Højlund is obviously not fit. So in the striking position, and Martial isn't of all fit. You play Rashford in the striking position. You then play Garnacho on the left wing. Yes. I don't know why I don't have a picture for him yet. And then you do that. Actually, to be honest, I'd actually start for some reason against Wolves. I think I'd rather start Anthony. I don't know why, but I feel like against Wolves, I think that it'd be much more effective to start Anthony. So that's for me is how I would start against Wolves. That's what I would do. Onana, Shaw, Varane, Martinez, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Mount, Fernandes, Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony, and you have Sancho on the bench potentially to come in off the left for a Garnacho, for example, and bring him on. That's what I would do. Outside of that, you don't have many real other impact subs, really. Because Eriksen, I guess, can come to the midfield. Pujols. Jeez, I mean, if you think our bench, man, people are so hyping, but as I said, our squad is quite light. I mean, yes, of course, we've got Malasic, we've got centre backs, but we generally do have quite a thin squad still, which is interesting, very, very interesting. Unless we obviously, like I said, sign Amrabat and get a few key players in, because if we do go down, literally only thing you have to change the game is Eriksen and Sancho, and that's it. That's a bit weird. Rasmus says, of course, I'm assuming that certain guy will be sold or loaned out. He can't come back after all the drama, can he? And the club is still, yeah, I don't know. Quite frankly, this just shows United's indecision, which I guess makes sense because they can't decide if they want to sell the club or not. I don't even want to talk about it, not because like I don't have empathy with both sides, but because like it just doesn't make sense how you have all of this time, like months upon months upon months upon months, and it's like you haven't, like you didn't think to sort of deal with this stuff before the new season started, or during the end, or when things were out. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it with this club. I saw Sancho first line against Wolves. He did well there preseason. Yeah, I know. I know there is him of that, but to be honest, I'd rather go what's tried and tested and what works, because quite frankly, a similar situation of last season where we lost to Brighton, lost to Brentford, and then I think we won. I want us to start the season well. We're at Old Trafford, we're at home, as we were at Brighton. You know, with this team should be good enough to beat Wolves at home. We shouldn't. We should. We shouldn't be. We should not be. We should not. Um, Let me just. Sorry, give me 2 seconds, guys. Uh, uh, Sorry. Oh, King Stash has gifted another 5 memberships. Really, really appreciate it, King Stash. Thank you so much for gifting the membership. I can't see that on the StreamYard thing, so I'm gonna just highlight Rasmus's comments actually, because the StreamYard app doesn't actually highlight, which I think is a bit not ideal because it should. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. King Stash, really I do. So big up King Stash, who said, yeah. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think that this squad is good enough to beat Wolves. We should be getting the 3 points. We should start the season well. And I think if I just go, I think I'll probably end, because we'll just have a quick look. The table up. Thank you, guys. This has been a good show, guys. Because I was doing it by myself. Like, I don't know whether there'll be as many. It'll be as good without not having someone else here and stuff. But you guys have made the show really enjoyable. Actually, you really have. So I'm gonna just quickly type the Premier League table. Come on. What are you doing? Not Arsenal. Arsenal fans after the first will say that, well, okay, City top of the league, technically. Arsenal were top of the league for about a few months. But okay, so here's United now. Right. So I think I'll focus on the first 5 to 10 games, because there's no point doing that afterwards. And King said, again, let's do it. Thank you so much, buddy. He says Eric Ten Hag will probably sub in Forsen before Pedestrian. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. This is why I'm like, I really like Palestri. I really, really do like Palestri. I really, really do. But what I don't understand is, I don't know. I get it. I just don't think he's gonna get enough game time. Like I think someone said, I think that Palestri might be kind of like almost like a Diego Forlan type character. Dude has got potential. Dude is already an international. But I don't think he's going to get the game time. I think part of that is Anthony and Sancho. So for me, if Palestri is going to get the game time, one of those players needs to be sold. And in my opinion, if Sancho doesn't ball this season, it could be him. But that's my 2 cents. But I think for me, the best thing for him to do is just to go out on loan. Is to go out on loan. Right. Let's look at these fixtures, man. Let us look at these. Let us look at these fixtures and see. And I'm going to make some predictions. I'd like to think where we should be after these fixtures. Got some of these fixtures here. So Manchester United, 8 o'clock, home to Wolves. We should be winning that game. That should be 3 points. Away to Spurs. I think going to Spurs in a second is going to be difficult, but I don't know. I just think that hopefully by then as well, Amrabat will be confirmed. So I think that we can go to Spurs and be cautious and play an Amrabat and say a Casemiro if you want. But I just think that the loss of Harry Kane is a big blow for Spurs. I just don't think that they can replace that. The Spurs guy is a good coach, but okay. What I'll say is I expect us to at least not lose. I expect a draw. So I'll say a draw at a minimum away to Spurs. But I think Harry Kane is a big loss. Nottingham Forest, I want them to get Dean Henderson. We should be beating Nottingham Forest at home. I don't think they've done enough to strengthen their team. So, we should be beating them at home. Arsenal away. Man, 2 trips to London. Arsenal in the so it's a difficult first 5 game, guys. Wolves, Spurs away, Forest, Arsenal away, and then Brighton. So to be honest, for me, to get the early push, we need to beat Spurs we need to take advantage of the fact that Spurs will not have signed many players. They're a bit disorganized. We need to go and beat them. Because I think that you get to game week 4 and Arsenal the Emirates is going to be difficult. We don't beat Arsenal the Emirates. I didn't actually think we were going to be playing Arsenal the Emirates so soon. Because we don't. We aside from when Jesse Lingard made the Emirates his stadium that one time, we struggled to beat them at the Emirates. And we were outplayed by them last season at the Emirates as well. I think this is a difficult one to call, to be honest, and I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't our first L of the season. The only thing I guess really from our perspective is, do they have any goal scorers? Gabriel Jesus isn't going to be available. Will Kai Havertz really be good enough? I don't know. We obviously did beat them in pre-season, but it's just pre-season and it's not the Emirates. So, and also what will the team look like? Will we get Amrabat or another striker, Højlund and things like that? So, but if it's up to me, I would put this up more in the possible L. Brighton. Again, Brighton at home. Brighton tough. Brighton have made good signings. And last season they beat us. I think they beat us twice, home and away. And we only scraped through them in the cup because of penalties. A draw. I'm sorry, guys, a draw. I don't know whether it's difficult to tell because we don't have the full squad yet, but as the squad is right now, and with Brighton the way they're moving, I know they've lost Caicedo and Macas, and I was like, oh yeah, they lost, blah, blah, blah. But Brighton know how to scout, know how to replace, and they already have, and you don't know what they're going to look like at that point either. Mohamed Kudus, for example, is rumored to go to them, so that's what we think. Well, that's game 5, I think. So that's the first 5 games. So in the first 5 games, win, draw, win, L, and draw. So I think in the first 5 games, this is just my prediction anyway. So that's 3, 1, 7, 1. So 8 points out of 15 is what I think we'll get. So I don't think we'll be Arsenal the Emirates, and I think these 2 may be draws. If this can be converted to a win, so 10 out of 15, I'll be happy. But I think it'll be a challenge in my personal opinion. Yeah, Palestri Oops, I totally forgot. Most of is really getting a chance even as a sub, exactly. I don't think it's a discipline issue. I don't think so. I just think that there's just not the opportunity. Palestri talent can't be talked to on the bench. The kid is amazing. It's a shame he doesn't get anything. Exactly. He's got to go out on loan. He's got to go out on loan. Rasmus's first few games, I expect wins. Then against Arsenal away, not sure whether we will get anything. Yeah, I don't think we will. I don't think we will. Unless something radically changed, I don't think we will. Or unless they have multiple injuries, I don't think we will. We can't draw Brighton. That's unacceptable. Is it though? We didn't beat them last season. You know, in fact, I can't remember aside from the time we beat them when Bruno took that penalty after the full time, which is legendary, by the way. But that's it. That's it. I can't think of anything else really. So yeah, Brighton are a good team and they have a good manager and they have a good owner and they know how to make the right decisions and they flow. And so yeah, Brian for me, a draw, I think. That's what I think. We didn't though. We beat them in the cup over penalties. Remember that. Remember, we're talking about Premier League fixtures. We beat them in the cup over penalties, not in normal time. So that's the key thing. If it was normal time, it would have been a draw. You know, so and home and away last season, they beat us both times. So in my opinion, advantage Brighton, advantage. The next 5 games before I round up. So after that, you got Burnley away. Again, not easy. Think we should win it, but not easy with company. And I saw the way that Burnley were playing. It's not going to be easy. Crystal Palace at home, we should win. We should be beating Palace at home under Hodgson. I don't care. We should be, especially because now that Zaha is gone, we should be. Same thing with Brentford at home without Ivan Toney, etc. So I expect these 3 to be wins. So 9. Sheffield United away, same thing as well. So I expect win, 12 points. And then you've got City at home. And then that's a difficult one to predict, the Manchester Derby. That's a difficult one. Because at home, we can give them a good game. And our home record is good. I'll leave it to the chat, actually. I will leave it to the chat. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that we can beat Manchester City again at Old Trafford this season? Let me know what you think in the chat, because I don't know. It's just if Holland does his thing, then boom, you know. I don't know. In fact, you know what? I put it on us. I put it on us at home. If we got the momentum going into this game, I think that we beat City at home. I think we do. I think we've got the ability. I think we've got the ability to do so. And now no Gundogan. That'll make things easy for us, and we can hopefully just all you have to do is just make sure that Luke Shaw is centre back. That's all. Put Luke Shaw centre back, and then we're good. I think, you know. So, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll say it. We're going to beat City. We're going to beat City at home. So 5 out of 5, I think is fair in this fixture list. But I wouldn't be surprised if we draw to City at home and draw to Burnley. You know, I mean, not really, Rasmus, not really. I mean, he was pocketed by Shaw last season. In fact, you know, Haaland against competent defenders has not really been that great. I mean, against Inter, he was in the CL final, he was quiet. But for that really good goal from, was it Rodri or Gundogan, I think, he wouldn't have been in a thing. So when they're competent defenders, he's kept quiet. You know, it is what it is. Right, guys, 2 hours. I need to go to bed. It's late, but thank you so much for everyone that got involved. Thank you so much for everyone that donated. Big up King Stash in the chat. and everyone, and Muzzy as well, who, you know, with the super chats and the people giving the likes, etc. Really appreciate it. Big up the new members as well. I'll be starting the seeing as there's so many new members, we'll be bringing back the members hangout. So I'm gonna post a in the community tab when you guys want the members hangouts, because United Form is going to be back on no, not on Monday, because it's United playing on Monday, but it's going to be back the following Monday. Weekly Q&As Friday, you know, so there's going to be a time when the members hangout's going to be. So well, let me know, okay? Take care, everyone, and cheers. Peace, peace, peace.